October 14th, 2021. It's now 7 o'clock. I would like to ask you to stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Tilly, could you do a roll call?
Supervisor Cannon.
Here.
Councilman Fidelli.
Here.
Councilman Kay.
Here.
Councilman Midwood.
Here.
Councilwoman Morrison. Here. Here. All present.
Okay, thank you. The agenda has been sent to the board. I have two changes that I'd like to make in the agenda. One is to remove the item regarding tax collector from the draft agenda. And the second is to add an item which is a resolution regarding a bond authorization for the town. With those two changes, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Just a couple of quick comments. First of all, I would like to note that this is the first town board meeting with a new town clerk, and we are very pleased that Tilly Strauss has agreed to become our town clerk. She's been hard at work for the past 2 and a half weeks, something like that. Anyway, it's I've been very heartened by the degree to which everybody in town hall has been helping out, and it's a very collegial atmosphere in town hall, and I really appreciate everybody who's swung into gear. And welcome, Tilly. The other thing I wanted to mention is that our regularly scheduled November board meeting coincides with Veterans Day. So the suggested alternative would be to meet the day before, which is Wednesday evening, at 6 o'clock in order to be done in time for the planning board, which meets, as you all know, at 7:30. I polled the board and everybody has indicated that that should be okay. I just want to confirm that that works for the board. So that meeting will be then on Wednesday, November 10th at 6 p.m. at Town Hall. Getting to our reports, our police representative is here. How are you? Good, how are you? Very good, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Take one and pass it down. All right, so for September 2021, there's a total of 50 calls. 26 were the village, 24 were the town, and there were 2 village arrests. Comparing that to 2020, there was a total of 69 calls. 17 were donations for helmets, included in that 69 calls, so there was a total of 45 regular calls, 24 town calls, and 2 arrests.
Okay. Anybody on the board have any questions? I've got one, which is occasionally I've noticed what seem to be small motorcycles running around without license plates or without any identification. Is there a size at which they can operate on public roads?
Anything, any motor vehicle on the roadway has to be registered. Are you talking about like dirt bikes?
No, some kind of small little motorcycles. And they're motorcycles, as
Okay.
far as I can tell. I was just curious.
Not a moped?
Is a moped required also to be registered?
Any motor vehicle on the roadway
Yeah, okay.
that is not self-propelled has to be registered
Okay. No, I
and
did-
insured. So, I mean, if you see that, let us know or
Yeah,
call 911 and we can take a look out for it.
probably doesn't rise to that level of, but, yeah, I was just curious, because
Yeah, but on the other hand, if they get in an accident, hit someone, and they're not insured, and they can take off, I mean,
Yeah.
that's an issue. So, I mean, you don't have to call 911, you can call the non-emergency number,
Mm-hmm.
or you can talk to this guy, and you can send someone out.
Yeah. Also, I know that everyone's probably aware, we had a pretty big accident on McGee Hill Road down at 83.
Yes.
Is there any way that tractor trailer trucks are guided off that, or usually?
I don't know.
I've never seen one trying to go down that hill.
Right. He maybe was following GPS, I don't know where his destination was, where he was coming from, so it all depends on where he's going, where he's coming from. I mean, that's not the ideal road.
No, he's probably not going to take that one again.
No, especially that truck's, forward. But yeah, I don't know why he was on that road, I'm assuming he was following GPS, he was from Florida, so he was not from the area and had no idea the roads or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's lucky he didn't get hurt or hurt someone else, I mean,
Yeah.
he was hurt, but not bad. So he was released within a couple hours, but could have been a lot worse.
It looked bad.
It did.
Any other questions from the board? No, I guess not.
All right.
Anyway, thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you,
you
guys.
coming by. Bob Stevens, highway report?
Sure. So everything's going well with the highway department. We have the shared bucket truck for the month of October, so we're very busy using that, taking care of all of our tree work. And the rest of the equipment's holding up okay at this point.
Just so that everyone is reminded, the bucket truck is shared between 3 towns, right? 4.
Yep,
Ourselves?
Northeast, Marlin, Rhinebeck, and Clinton.
Okay, so this is an example of equipment which is very expensive and which 4 towns find a way to share.
This works out very well.
Now, does it usually come to us at the same time of year?
Yes, we get it in April and October of every year.
Okay. And there are other pieces of equipment which we also share.
Right, paver, roller, and trailer for asphalt paving. And we share a skid steer with the town of Milan.
Right. I know we will be getting some bids back on for gravel, or is it
Right,
the one that's out at the moment?
correct, they're scheduled to be open 10 a.m. tomorrow. Be for fuel, gravel, blacktop, sand,
Right. And the results of that will be announced at our next board meeting.
at the November meeting.
Yeah. Okay. We also have an RFP out for work on Irondale Road, the drainage down the bottom of Irondale Road. And those bids are due to be opened, I can think in,
October 28th at 11 a.m.
right. And apparently we've seen some interest in that project, which is great, because
Yes.
as everyone may recall, we had no bids the first time. Okay. I think other than that, unless anybody has a question for Bob, that should be it. Thank you, Bob. And we come to our assessor's report. Catherine? Hi there.
Good evening, everyone. I just have one little announcement about a project that we're going to be going forward. You remember a few years ago, to continue our effort to improve our data records and slowly move to a paperless, or at least a less paper office, we invested in Apex software, which is a computer-aided sketching program that a lot of the local assessors in our neighboring towns had used and recommended. So little by little, our data collector has been, COVID was a great time to do this, has been sketching every residential and commercial property, so we have all this updated for our records. And the next step in this big scheme project is to take new photos of every property in town. As you know, the photos that we keep for our records, for my use, are also the photos that are up online on the county website, Marshall Access website. So it's important that everything's updated so the public can also see what we have in our town. Now, we regularly update photos when there's building occurred or sale occurs and go out to the property, but that really is a small percentage every year of the properties in town. So the bulk of our photos are actually pushing 12 years old since our last data collection, full data collection project. So it is really time that we start to do this. You know, things don't change maybe that much over the years, maybe a fresh coat of paint, but we do need to have fresh pictures just so we have time-dated, time-stamped. And the state is really eager to have every town have at least, they aim for 6 years old at most. So they're a little far behind in that, but I think it'd be a very good addition to our records. And then once that project's done, we can compare our sketches with photos off-site, and then if there's any changes or updates that we need to do, we can then go out and not waste time out in the field looking for differences in our records. So I think it's a good step, and we'll be doing that. The best time really to do that is when the leaves are down and before there's lots of snow on the ground. So we're a little bit of ways from that, but I want to announce that that's coming up, that me and our data collector will be out doing this around the town. That's pretty much it for now.
Good. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
One more. And reports from the planning, zoning, and building departments were sent to the board by the clerk prior to this meeting. Okay, so what time has it gotten to be? Okay. We have a public hearing on, I'm going to move to item 6 on the agenda, the public hearing on the local law permitting the town to exceed the New York State tax cap. As people will know who are familiar with previous meetings, the state sets a cap of approximately 2% on budgets. Town budgets, towns, including the Northeast, regularly pass a law to permit them to exceed the tax cap if they should need to. And that is what this hearing is on. This is something the town has done as long as I've been on the board, and I think a lot longer. So I would like to ask for a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Can we take a roll call on this?
Okay. Supervisor Cannon?
Aye.
Councilman Fidelli?
Yes?
Councilman Kay?
Aye.
Councilman Midwood?
Aye.
Councilwoman Morrison?
Okay, this is the public hearing on the local law permitting the town to exceed the New York State tax cap. If anyone would like to make any comments, we're in the public hearing.
I just have a question.
It's not, this is a hearing, so you're welcome to make a comment for the record.
Oh, comment,
Yeah.
not a question.
Yeah.
Okay. I just not clear if the town New York tax cap includes the fire department or not. That's my statement and my comment. So I will try to learn more about that. This is not the appropriate place to ask.
Any other comments? If there are none, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Second. George.
Another roll call?
Another roll call.
Okay, Supervisor Cameron,
Aye.
Councilman Fidelli,
Aye.
Councilman Kaye,
Aye.
Councilman Midwood,
Aye.
Councilwoman Morrison. Aye.
Since we're now not in the public hearing, Warren, my impression is that the tax cap does not apply to, it applies to the town's budget, not to the fire district. There's your answer. Okay, next we are going to get to the local law. We have had the public hearing, so we're now going to entertain a motion to approve the local law. I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution to permit the town to exceed the tax cap.
So moved.
Second. Another roll?
No, sure.
Okay, Supervisor Cannon,
Aye.
Councilman Fidelli,
Aye.
Councilman Kaye,
Aye.
Councilman Midwood,
Aye.
Councilwoman Morrison. Aye.
Okay. We've done that. The next item is a public hearing on the Water District Assessment Roll. This is the row of properties in the town which are within the water district, the town's portion of the water district. And this is our accepting the water district assessment roll, essentially. So I would entertain a motion to open the hearing on the water district assessment roll.
So moved.
Yeah.
Supervisor Cannon,
Aye.
Councilman Fidelli,
Aye.
Councilman Kaye,
Aye.
Councilman Midwood,
Aye.
and Councilwoman Morrison. Aye.
Okay, the hearing is open on the water district assessment roll. If any member of the public has any comment on the water district assessment roll, now is the time for that. Hearing no comments, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second. Supervisor Cannon,
Aye.
Councilman Fidelli,
Aye.
Councilman Kaye,
Aye.
Councilman Midwood,
Aye.
Councilwoman Morrison. Aye.
The hearing is closed. I would entertain a motion to approve a resolution to approve the Water District Number 1 benefit assessment roll.
Second.
Supervisor Cannon,
Aye.
Councilman Fidelli,
Aye.
Councilman Kaye,
Aye.
Councilman Midwood,
Aye.
Councilwoman Morrison. Aye.
All right, thank you. Tonight, the town is presenting a tentative budget for the town. As people who follow this closely know, budgets go through phases. They start off as tentative budgets. They then become, once they've been presented to the board, preliminary budgets. And then once there's been a hearing held on the preliminary budget and the budget has been approved, it becomes a final budget. So today I'm presenting to the board a tentative budget for the year 2022. And I've got a couple of comments on the budget. But while I'm finding those, I just want to say that the budget has been worked on by the Budget Committee. And the Budget Committee consists of Lana Morrison and myself. And we've met through the month. We started meeting in September and met pretty much through the month of September on the budget. The basic outlines of the budget have been presented to the board, and some of the highlights of it are that there are no really dramatic changes in the budget. We have been aware of the impact of cost of living increases on town employees, and they've been very dramatic recently this year. And as a result, the budget calls for a 4% increase in salaries for town employees, that's town hall employees and highway department employees. I'm trying to think what other highlights of it. Our medical insurance is going up 4% this year. There are a number of other smaller changes in the budget, which you'll see there are some small increases for our auditor and for for some of the other professionals who help us, but nothing particularly dramatic. The budget of the town will be here posted in the town clerk's office for members of the public to inspect. And we will have a hearing on the budget at our meeting on November 10th. I think all the members of the board have a copy of the budget. If anyone has any questions about the budget, I will do my best to answer them. And I think it's a careful budget. We're very much aware of the impact of the town's budget on the taxpayers of the town, and therefore we have tried to hold in all other increases in the budget to an absolute minimum. And so I think it's a very responsible budget for the town. Any questions from the board? If not, I think we need a motion to accept the budget. What, Warren?
You're not accepting the final budget?
No, we're just, we're simply acknowledging that we've received it.
And you need a motion to set the public hearing.
Yeah.
All right, first of all, could I have just a motion to accept that the board has received the budget?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. And then we will set a hearing, since the meeting is at 6 o'clock. I think we should probably set the hearing on the budget for 6:20 on Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. Could I have a motion to set the date for that hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the bond resolution, which I referred to previously. And by way of some background on this, and I'm going to read the title of the bond resolution. A resolution supplementing the bond resolution dated May 13, 2021, to authorize the issuance of an additional $1,051,000 serial bonds of the town of Northeast, Dutchess County, New York, to pay part of the cost of the construction of Phase 3 of a new highway garage facility with fuel depot on a town-owned parcel of land on Route 22 in Millerton, New York, in and for the town of Northeast, Dutchess County, New York, at a revised maximum estimated cost of $4,275,000 and authorizing the issuance of not exceeding $1,051,000 additional bonds of said town to pay a portion of the cost thereof. That refers to the bond resolution dated May 13th, which authorized the issuance of $2,929,000 of bonds. That was based on an estimated cost of, at that time, of $3,224,000. As people may recall, we put out an RFP for construction of the highway garage at that time, and the bids came back roughly $1 million over that estimate. So the board decided to reject all those bids and to wait a while to see the labor shortages start to ease and the costs of materials subside. We have certainly seen the costs of some materials coming down. That we have passed that peak, and we're fortunately on a downward slope for at least some of the materials that would be needed for the highway garage. The tentative plan is to put the garage out for bid again at either in December or January. The thinking behind that is a time when contractors are starting to think about their schedule for the following summer, and it is a good time to present them with a request for proposals for bids. Therefore, in any event, the previous bond resolution does not provide us with as much funding as we would need to pay for the garage if we were to, for instance, to have accepted the bids that came in. And the responsible thing to do is to authorize bonding that would be capable of paying for the garage if it came back at that level. We hope and believe that it will not. We've also been looking at the design of the garage and the specifications for the garage and identifying a number of items that we can change to bring down the cost of the garage. So this bond resolution for $1,051,000 when added to the previous bond resolution, which is in effect provides us with that funding capacity. The board will hopefully, in approving this bond resolution, set us on the path which includes public notice in the newspapers of this, a permissive referendum period and so on, but hopefully we will be in position then to go out to bond this at the end of the year. As I mentioned in a previous board meeting, we have also retained a financial advisory firm whose business is advising towns on their capital structure, their financial structure, and one of the advantages of having a firm helping us with this is that when we do go out to bond the garage, instead of just going to 3 local banks in Dutchess County, we're able to actually solicit bids nationally for this. So that should help us also with bringing the cost down. Warren, I don't know if I've left anything out.
Exactly.
Anyway, so we have this bond resolution, which has been distributed to the board. I read the title of it. It's many pages long, but I'm happy to read if the board would like it read in full, or we can accept that the summary is what it says to do.
You don't have to.
We don't have to read it.
Unless members of the public would like to read it.
I'm happy to read it. I've got water.
There will be a publication in the paper that will give a summary of it.
Right, and it's here and it's available in the town clerk's office. So I would like then to entertain a motion to approve the bond resolution dated October 14th. I read you the title of the resolution before, but I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
So,
Second.
No sort of dead heat. For this, we definitely want a roll call.
Yes, okay. Supervisor Cannon?
Aye.
Councilman Fidelli?
Aye.
Councilman Kaye? Councilman Midwood?
Aye.
And Councilwoman Morrison? Aye. Thank you.
Okay. I skipped over another resolution, which is a renewable power procurement resolution. This is a resolution which was recommended by the town's Climate Smart Communities Task Force. It is part of the Climate Smart array of actions which towns can take to do their part to reduce carbon emissions. This would direct the town to try to find suppliers of electricity who are supplying us with renewable power. There are entities which do supply that. We're not an enormous consumer of power, but between town hall and the highway operations, we do obviously consume electricity. And part of this action is to set an example for the town to try to find and purchase its power from renewable sources. I've sent the resolution to the board. I would like to read this particular resolution. First of all, it's a lot shorter, but it also explains what this resolution is. Whereas the town of Northeast has a legitimate governmental interest in protecting human health within the town and beyond, and whereas carbon dioxide is regulated by the Environmental Protection Agency as a pollutant with recognized detrimental impacts on the environment and human health, and whereas the town's use of electrical power as currently supplied by Central Hudson was responsible for approximately 7,200 pounds of carbon dioxide emissions in 2020, and the town's total cost of electricity was $6,300 in 2020. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Northeast will annually investigate the availability and cost of 100% renewable electric power in coordination with the Climate Smart Communities Task Force, and plan to enter into annual fixed price contracts to purchase renewable power for each year that such clean power can be found, which, when contracted for a fixed supply price for the year, would not increase the town's total estimated electrical cost by more than 20% above such electrical costs if the electricity had been provided by Central Hudson. I think that's pretty clear. We easily should be able to identify power sources within that guidance. But this is, I think, a good step for the town to take, and it's an important symbolic and real step. Does anyone on the board have any questions about the resolution? Or any comments about the resolution?
I think this is a good step to take, and I'll make the motion.
Okay. Sean Midwood has made a motion to approve this resolution. Second by George Kay. Okay. Could you conduct a roll call for this?
Supervisor Cannon?
Aye.
Councilman Fidelli?
Aye.
Councilman Kay?
Aye.
Councilman Midwood?
Aye.
Councilwoman Morrison? Aye.
Warren, I think there's nothing else that we need you for. I don't think we have, unless you have anything you want to bring up with us.
I don't, I think we're good.
Yep, so, happy to send you on your way.
Thank you. Night, everybody, keep safe.
Yeah. We've now come to the public comments period of the board meeting. If anyone in the public has a comment, we welcome you to offer it. You kindly state your name before you start.
Louise Merriman. My concern relates to police reform. I know it goes back a little bit, but my understanding at the time that we submitted the documents to the state was that there was a general consensus that we were given a very short period of time to create a document that would have a huge impact on the community. And that because of that, a police reform review committee would be formed, and the hope was from many of us that there would be some residents and business owners that would be able to be on the committee to continue discussing what public safety should look like for the residents of the village and the town. And I don't know what happened to that. It ended up, I think, that there were 2 people from each board that made up the committee. Is that correct?
There is a joint police advisory committee which was formed before that governor's order.
But I don't think there are any citizens, just business owners or citizens. Is it members of the board?
There's 2 members of the village board, 2 members of the town board.
And my understanding was that the pushback against having citizens on the board would be compensated by the fact that this committee would continue to hold meetings so that citizens would have a chance to sit down and discuss these really important issues about public safety, things like mental health facilities and what kind of calls someone with a badge and gun should arrive to, and all the things that really have a huge effect on the quality of life in our town. because I'm wondering what has happened to the meetings.
As you know, there were meetings at the time of that, the formation of that plan. The members of the town, the two town members of that board have asked the village for a meeting to be held, and we are waiting to hear back from the village.
It's been a long time and.
So that's why they asked.
Yeah. And that it would be ongoing. I mean, these things are not things that can be decided in a month. So I guess, I just have a plea that we don't forget it.
No,
That
we-
we move on.
No, we've not forgotten.
Mary Ann Kelly-Harris, I would love to ask a question, but I know I can't ask a question. But I would suggest that the two members, it's Ilana and Morel, I believe, you're equal members to that committee, to the town. So I guess I would suggest that you would call a meeting, because there's supposed to be two meetings, I believe, a year. And I don't think you have to wait around for the village to call a meeting. I have another comment. If I'm going to ask
Mary Lynn Kelly-Harris.
K-A-L-O-G-E-R-A-S. If I were to ask a question, if I were to ask a question, if I would be allowed to ask a question, it would be, why can't we ask questions? It doesn't feel good, frankly. We're not allowed to ask questions. I do believe when George, when you were supervisor, you did have a period of time when questions could be asked. And that was, I mean, there's no way we can find out about, if we can't ask questions, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, no, if I could respond to that. In the public hearings, those are for people to provide testimony on the item that the public hearing is being held on. We have always, when we had an answer to a particular question, given that. I've never forbidden myself or anyone else from answering a question.
But we're not supposed to ask questions.
I haven't said that.
You never said that.
In public hearings, this is not a public hearing, this is
No,
just,
but I mean, during this period of time, would you be allowed to ask a question?
absolutely.
Oh, great, okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Stephen, just going back to that truck accident, it was pretty horrific to see. I was wondering, I've seen tractor trailers come down there accidentally. Are there any kind of road signs that can be put before the point of no return for the big tractor trailers that really shouldn't be going down the hill? Like maybe when they get to Charlie Hill, look, you gotta go here because you don't want to go there.
Yeah. I don't know. We can find out. It's a county road. As everyone knows, when it's a county road, the town does not just get to go and put up signs, but there are signs which, I know that there's a steep hill sign there, but it doesn't indicate the grade of the, I know sometimes you see a sign which indicates, 8% grade might have more impact for trucks. I don't know whether the county would put up a sign forbidding trucks to go down it. It's a good argument, there's a good argument for it.
It can't be, trucks have to be able to go down there, but only to a certain size. And I've only seen weight, not max weight signs. Don't go here if you're beyond 8,000 pounds. The tractor trailers, they can go the long way around, they have to do it.
Well, I think it's a good point. I mean, that was
That was bad.
That was really bad, and there should be a way to keep inappropriate vehicles off of that hill. I will let you know when I find out.
If there's anything I can do to help, I mean,
Bill?
Bill Kish. So I'm going to run down, again, with the police situation that's been brought up a couple of times. What my understanding is of the current situation. If anybody wants to correct anything I say, please do, because I've also learned about what's going on. So a year ago, basically, the town and the village signed a joint police services agreement. And as part of that, for the first time, police services committee was formed. And it's the police services committee, it says, shall serve in an advisory capacity to receive and consider input from the citizens of the village and or the town with regard to police services, and to provide recommendations to the town board and the village trustees of ways in which the police services can be improved. Now, the police services committee really started meeting when Executive Order 203, I think it was, came down from Albany saying, every town needs to have a police document, I don't know if it's called a police reform document, that is to be submitted to the state, and if you do not, you would lose your funding. So that was an emergency, and obviously the committee met to achieve that result, and did so. But during that time that the committee was meeting, this was at the height of the pandemic, so obviously everything was on Zoom. A lot of members of the community were present, provided input, and asked to be able to continue to provide input because, as was said earlier, time was short and really all the community input wasn't able to be fully integrated. Once that report was submitted to the state, I waited a month or two and asked when the next meeting was going to be. And was told, well, probably after the election, and that was the June election. And nothing happened, no meetings. And I've kept asking that question, even in this venue, when is the next meeting going to be held? And what I hear tonight is that there is a request for a meeting, but we don't have a date for a meeting, which I'm surprised about, actually, because I did speak to the mayor, and I'll bring that up in a minute, and see if she was interested in seeing that committee, so maybe I'll follow up with her. But something rather disturbing has occurred recently, which if you read the Northern News a couple weeks ago, you realized that there seems to be a huge disconnect between the governing agency, the town of Village of Millerton, and its police department. And there it appears that the two entities are not speaking to one another. And again, we're in the situation as a town where we are paying for these services. We have not had any opportunity to provide input. Nobody knows, and I can say that in speaking to the mayor of the Village of Millerton has no idea what the mission is of the police department that is under her control. This is not an acceptable situation. This is the reason why this committee was formed. We need to have, there is a huge demand, outcry, and wish from the community to be able to provide input to how policing is done in the town of Northeast and understand what it is that the police are providing to us for the very extensive amount of money that the village and the town are paying. It's just not working right now. So I would say, in my comment, do whatever is necessary to get these meetings going. Make sure that they're public. Start accepting input from the public and figure out why we have a police department and what they're doing. Because right now, none of that is happening. The fighting between the village government and the police department is unseemly and at worst may indicate that the police department is in revolt. it's not an acceptable situation. So I would really hope that within the next week or two, that an announcement would go out that there's going to be a meeting. And if for some reason the village is not responsive, I would volunteer to act as a go-between and make sure that the village does respond. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. The committee is chaired by the village. I believe Matt Hartzog is the chair of that committee, so I will reach out to him again. I will reach out to the mayor to go through the proper protocol and remind her of our standing request, now over a month old, to have a meeting. I'll pursue it. I should also say that to the extent that members of the public have input that they would like to submit in writing to the committee, that can happen at any point. And it doesn't have to wait for a meeting. So I don't believe we've gotten anything in writing from anybody.
No, because I think that people would rather engage in a speaking and listening session as opposed to writing things up. But
Yeah. Well,
it comes down to that.
we've had some people who told me they, when it came to police reform, that they were actually not so comfortable appearing in public to talk about their experiences. So there are many ways that input can be given to us, and we're certainly open to that. But I will I'll take it up with the mayor and let you know. Any other public comment? Okay. Moving along. We have a budget adjustment. In A fund, an expense increase of $3,071, less an expense decrease of $2,449, less the revenue increase of $622, for a net of zero. Could I have a motion to approve that budget adjustment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I have, for B fund, a budget adjustment, an expense increase of $400, less a revenue increase of $400, for a net of zero. Can I have a motion to approve that budget adjustment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You good, Tilly? I don't want to get too far ahead of you.
Another roll?
No, those were approved.
Yes.
I have a special abstract dated September 28, 2021, totaling $10,583.77, broken down as follows. A fund, $2,340.23. DB fund, $8,243.54. Could I have a motion to approve the special abstract?
So moved.
Seconded by George. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And I have an abstract dated October 14th, 2021, totaling $384,539.02, broken down as follows. A fund, $49,040.03. B fund, $3,687.44. DB fund, $330,488.09. Special grant fund, $401.22. T T and A2 escrow, $700. Payroll T and A, $222.24. Could I have a motion to accept the abstract?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The voucher for committee for November is George K. and Ralph Fidelli. George, this will be your last voucher committee.
Very upsetting.
The board has been sent minutes from meetings of August 26th and September 21 for your review. Anyone have any comments on any of those, on either of those two sets of meetings, minutes? If not, could I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Our council is left,
Oh, yeah.
so there's no meeting with council.
Okay.
Anyone on the board have anything else? No. No? In that case, I would call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And second.
Okay, well, let's do a roll call for this.
Okay, Supervisor Cannon, Councilman Fidelli,
Aye.
Councilman Kay,
Aye.
Councilman Midwood,
Aye.
and Councilwoman Morrison. Aye. All ayes.
We're adjourned. Thank you very much.